Donna Fernandez, welcome and thank you for coming in. Donna, of course, as everyone knows, is the director of the Buffalo Zoo and had been talking to us last fall during the budget process, and we did get from the county $3 million of borrowed funds for this, and I remember having this sheet last time. Just for those who may be newer or want a refresher course, the county back in 2003 gave $2.75 million in tobacco settlement dollars for the Sea Lion Otter exhibit. In 2007, there was the rainforest, $4 million was bonded for that. In 2008, the children's exhibit, $1 million was bonded. And each year, we have been giving $1.465 million in operational funding as part of cultural funding. So there's been a significant county investment over the course of the past decade and probably beyond that. But Donna, we welcome you here and look forward to your presentation and giving us an update on where this is at. And if you have any guests here, if you'd like to introduce
Thank you for this opportunity to update you guys on where we are, both with the design and the capital campaign. I'm here today with numerous board members to show their support of where we are, and also to thank the county for your past support, both operational and capital. If you look at your handout, you can sort of see the latest renderings of our new entrance. We made the decision to reuse a historic brick barn from the 1940s for two reasons. It saves considerable money by reusing an existing structure, but also it is a requirement or strongly urged by New York State to try to preserve any building over 50 years. So we're taking the original children's zoo barn from the 1940s and gutting the interior and reusing that to become our new entrance plaza. The main entrance building will now have ticketing, gift shop, membership sales, restrooms, and a cafe. And you can sort of see in the rendering right now, the top one is the before. Those 5 windows will be extended down to be 5 ticketing windows. We'll be adding some architectural decorative elements to the facade. And we've been working with UB's School of Architecture, some of their professors who are really interested in historic preservation and working with our architecture firm, as well as the City of Buffalo Preservation Board. Another element which you'll see in the new entrance will be these raised planters in the shape of the Great Lakes. And if you've ever been to Disney World and seen jumping jets of water go from place to place at Epcot, we'll be using that sort of theatrical element of the jumping water from these raised lake planters to introduce the theme of water, which is our central element in the programming you see at the Buffalo Zoo. So that third rendering you can see as they're walking underneath that gateway, which is where you redeem your tickets. You can see some of those jumping jets of water to introduce our water theme. We've just got the designs in for final review. They're at cost estimation right now. We will plan to bid the project in the next couple of weeks and begin construction late June, early July. And that should take about 9 or 10 months. Not so much work in the building, but the plantings and the decorative elements can only be done in warm weather, so we're going to have to do some of that stuff in May of next year. So we'll open with our sort of main busy season in 2013 with a new entrance. Then sort of to update you on the next page, the Arctic exhibit. As I mentioned when I was here in the fall, we were cited for the bear exhibit as a major concern because of it being outdated, built in the 1890s, and we were given a short timeline to replace the bear exhibit or risk losing the bears. We have been asked to get rid of any bears we have in the very near future. We had agreed to take in 3 grizzly cubs for the Salt Lake City Zoo, and they were recently, in April, sent to Salt Lake for their brand new bear exhibit. We had a bear that we owned at Cincinnati that was not chosen to come to Buffalo, but sent to Salt Lake City as well. They've also requested that we place Nanook and Anana, our last 2 bears, this fall. And they're waiting to see whether, if we meet the timeline, if we complete the capital campaign as promised in 2012, they'll do them as a temporary placement. If we don't, there's a risk that they would be put in a permanent placement elsewhere.
So what would you say to the public to convince them that this is a priority, this is worth the investment, and that, you know, when you had mentioned earlier, well, it may become a decision of the AZA that if not polar bears, grizzly bears. What if the public were to say, well, then a bear is a bear is a bear? What would you say to convince the public that this is a worthy investment and that we should be rallying behind this and making this our quest?
Well, polar bears have been sort of symbolic of the Buffalo Zoo. We probably have one of the best natural climates to support polar bear of any zoo in the country, and I fear it would be a major blemish on this community, and would hate to see, you know, Buffalo mocked because we lost our polar bears, because it is such a great climate for polar bears. And usually anytime there's a big snowy day, the major newscasters come to Buffalo Zoo and say, what are the buffaloes doing, and what are the polar bears doing today with 2 feet of snow? And, you know, we do appeal to sort of the most general audience that you can imagine. Every citizen, from, you know, toddlers to people in their 70s and 80s, come to the zoo. We're very affordable and attract people of all incomes and educational levels, and we do feel that we represent the entire county in terms of who we serve, and do a lot of great programs. And it's an important issue what's going on in the wild with polar bears, and we'd love to be able to communicate to the 450,000 visitors that they too can help by their own behavior. The whole educational messaging is designed to make people committed to saving the earth. So I would hope that they would want to do it for the economic reasons, but also for the commitment to future generations of the planet.